10864. Station's your final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
Oregon is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is Ducks football.
We got to elevate and make our teaching standards elite.
Got him deep. He's open. He's got it. He's gone. It is picked up. Intercepted. Oregon with the ball.
There can't be any type of fading. It doesn't work that way.
20, 50. He's going to score. 10. Touchdown, Oregon.
We invested a lot of time in that, and we expect that to pay off in a big-time way.
Oregon repeats as the Pac-12 champion.
This is the Oregon Football Coaches Show on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Country Financial Insurance. Protect what matters. And by Pepsi and Bigfoot Beverages. Go Ducks. Drink Pepsi. Now, let's talk Oregon Ducks football. Alongside Mike Jorgensen and Joey Mack, here's the voice of the Ducks, Jerry Allen.
Jorgie alongside Jorgie? Did he say alongside? He said alongside Jorgie, right?
I knew. So, all right, we're gonna take you behind the show a little bit here. So we produced those opens, like a long time in advance. Jorgie's unable to be here tonight, so I guess should I be Jorgie and Joey?
You can be both of you.
How do we do that? So you have to run the ball.
Okay, there's Jorgie.
That's
All right,
Jorgie.
there you go. Yeah.
But yeah, so I knew you were going to do that.
Jorgie's on an assignment tonight. I'm Jerry. I'm with Joey Mack. And we have a special guest who's going to join us in our next segment for a couple of segments, talk some Duck football. Not only current football, but past history football. Tony Washington Jr. is going to be with us tonight. I cannot wait to sit and talk with this young man. One of the great highlights in my career here at Oregon that he offered up in that game in the Rose Bowl. We'll get to that coming up. This is a show I really didn't look forward to doing. I mean, we come in
Tell me what you
undefeated.
really think.
Undefeated, top 5 ranked, and things rolling, and then you stumble and you lose a game, and more than half the top 25 teams this year have lost. I mean, so it happens. It's reality. But it's not something you enjoy.
No.
But what I've learned in reading Twitter and listening to the players talk and listening to the coaches talk, and even, Joey, some of the fans have bought into it and say, you know what? It's one game. There's a lot of season left. We have plenty of time to accomplish our goals. And I really realized that. And I didn't feel like that on Sunday. I was still a little upset.
Did you feel like that on Monday?
Yeah, I was into it on Monday.
I feel like it took until Tuesday.
No, I started rolling the corner on Monday.
It took me until Monday morning, and I think it probably it takes people always a little bit longer.
Yeah,
right?
you know.
But here's what I'll say.
Right.
And I think this has been true forever. I've heard so many different coaches and players talk about this, that the players actually move on the quickest, then the coaches move on, then the fans move on,
yeah,
right?
That's
well,
true.
we're in the fan group.
No
There's
doubt.
no doubt about
No
that.
doubt.
We are essentially paid fans, right? Like, that's what we are. Yeah, I mean, you look, mistakes were made. Coach Cristobal, he was the first to say that the Ducks made mistakes. I will say, too, you got to credit Stanford for taking advantage of those mistakes.
You do.
But a couple false starts that were really, really critical with just over 2 minutes left to play. Maybe a potential touchdown that could have been scored there before the end of the half. Just a couple things. Look, everybody likes to have that sort of dramatic moment, like the game came down to this. Well, more often than not, it comes down to a collection of plays that determine the keys to a victory or a loss. And I think in this case, that's kind of what happened. It kind of got away from the Ducks, and then Stanford took advantage. So I think the positive to take away from that is that there are things that the Ducks can work on. One of those things during this bye week is maybe getting a little bit healthier, Jerry. I mean, the Ducks have been bitten by the injury bug. Fortunately, it's a pretty deep team. We talked about that all of fall camp, but the depth has been tested at a few positions. And so here's hoping that everything's going to be a little bit healthier for the Ducks moving forward. And I know everybody's going to ask the question about the health. Coach Cristobal is going to talk to the media tomorrow and have some updates on everybody there.
Yeah, we'd like to go down that list and tell you who's doing what, how they're doing, when they're going to be back. But we can't do that because we don't know. And we're not going to use it as an excuse either. That's what it's so easy to say, well, yeah, think of where they would be if this guy didn't get hurt, if that guy didn't get hurt. But the reality is when they've recruited this team, they recruit star athletes, the greatest athletes, 4 and 5 star, even those 3 stars actually are better than 3 stars and get coached up. So this isn't like, oh, where are we? What are we going to do? They have the athletes that they believe in. And when you give that kid a chance, how many times have they stepped up and you went, wow, I had no idea. So they're going to be fine.
Yeah, they're going to be fine.
Yeah.
So coming up, but this is obviously the bye week, so the Ducks did practice a little bit of a shorter practice today. They're back on the practice field tomorrow, but a chance also for a lot of the coaches to go out recruiting. That's sometimes what the bye week is about, and so Ducks are handling all of that. And then next Friday, that's right, remember it's a Friday game against Cal.
But don't forget
Friday
that and show up on
lights.
Saturday morning. Where is everybody?
Well, if you did that, I mean, there's a lot of TVs to watch other games at Autzen too.
Well, that's true.
I guess you could do that, but so a Friday game, a 7:30 kickoff, Cal coming to town, and a Cal team that has struggled a little bit, and so I think that's important too for the Ducks to get back to those winning ways, and that's what they're working on this week.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that and more. Well, it's a football coaches show, so we're going to talk some real football with a guy who played real football and now works with this football team. Tony Washington Jr. is going to join us coming up in just a moment. It's the Oregon Sports Network from, well, I don't want to give it away too soon. Yeah, let's give it away. We'll come back, have Tony join us. It's the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield. I think I said that, but I didn't want to say it. Did I say that?
As my family continued to grow, I realized I'd have to replace my beloved Jeep with something that has, well, more seats. I'm Jason Hines, Country Financial Rep and father of 7. Whether you're upgrading from your sporty ride with no room for a car seat or finally replacing your well-loved beater that still has a cassette player, you'll want the right protection for your new car. Work with a Country Financial Rep like me and get the protection you need at a price you can afford. Learn more at TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
Here's how Duck fans take flight with OCCU. Start with a Lucky Duck savings account. Move up to a Duck debit card with free checking. Then graduate to a Duck credit card. OCCU makes your financial journey easier with fewer fees, higher rates on savings, and lower rates on loans. Discover the OCCU difference at myoccu.org/Go Ducks.
Well, Bob, I don't like Hunger's chances here, not against this feast of an IHOP defensive line.
That's right, Jim. They got burgers, chicken sandwiches, french fries, bacon, and condiments as far as the eye can see.
Heck of a lineup, Bob. They've been slaying Hunger in the backfield this whole season. Makes you wonder how Hunger finds the courage to get back out there.
Empty tummy, 42 pancakes. The blitz is on, and Hunger is demolished once again.
It never stood a chance, Bob.
Tackle your hunger with IHOP's Game Day Family Feasts.
The ins and outs of all things Ducks. This is Oregon football from Learfield.
You're not too cool for me. And in return, I reciprocate that sentiment. I'll never be too cool for you. I was a man with a plan, but now I'm a dad with a decree, and you can't take that from me. Please let it be noted that I told my job they can dock my pay. Right now, it's just too important to take you to school every day. I want to be legendary for you. I want you to puff out your chest when you go to school, the same way I do. I walk taller because of you, because I found everything to live for.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too. Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and experiences connect through conversation, and it feels good.
This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too. Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together. Start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/one small step. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back inside our Country Financial Studios. Jerry Allen with Joey. Georgie's not here. I know.
Yeah,
well,
usually you
hear
from me later on in the show. Georgie, I like what you said. Georgie's on assignment.
Yes.
We'll find out what that assignment is Maybe never, but he's on assignment. Yeah, normally I'm not. This is actually really fun for me because I don't usually get a chance to do the interview section until we get to the student athletes. So this is great.
So you better have lots of questions.
I've got a lot of bullet points for Tony.
Okay. All right, let's hit them then. It is it's a special Pepsi Coaches Spotlight. But not a coach, Tony Washington Jr., Director of Player Development. Welcome to the show.
Yeah,
Good
that's
to have
right.
you
Round
with
of
us.
applause.
Okay.
Scott's clapping. Yeah, thanks for being here.
And the title is great, and what you're doing is great. You're part of the team. But what really is great is you were with the Ducks. You were on the field. You gave us some of the greatest moments, some of the greatest calls I've ever had. 210 to 214?
Yep.
And the one game we all remember is at the Rose Bowl. Jameis Winston, and the strip fumble and the touchdown. And take us, before we go take us through that a little bit. Just what it was like for you as a player to be on the field in that big moment, on that big stage, and be able to accomplish what you did then.
Well, it was big, not just because it was a Rose Bowl, but me being a Southern California native and every time I get an opportunity to play in that area with all my family around, it was always huge. So obviously at that time, the first playoff game, there was a lot riding on it. So kind of how we came out as a team and how we kind of showcased to the world what we were about, I think it was huge for our program. I think we always knew kind of behind closed doors that it was in us. But personally, just being in the right place, right time, be able to make that play is something that I can never shake. I try to move on from it and, try to give glory to like the more recent plays and players that have, been out in the field. But it's just something that, a lot of Oregon fans are going to always remember. And it's good, though. It kind of, it's a good icebreaker for me when I first got back. A lot of players remember that. They always talk about how they were like in middle school or something like that. Makes you feel old. But it kind of gives some credibility to me saying I was actually a player here and kind of the impact I was able to have on the field. So, it was great. All around good.
Okay, you never want to shake it. Don't shake it. You want to because
I was just gonna say,
as you get older, the years that go by, it will be the last play of the game. Ducks were down by 2. It was at the 2-yard line. They were going in when you knocked the ball loose and went 98 yards for the touchdown. So the further in life you get, the more you got to embellish that.
Yeah, which I can respect that. I'll hang on to it.
I remember so many big plays that you made. Like there was that reputation that you had. Like you were the big playmaker. That was clearly the one that everybody sort of remembers, right? Is that the one that you're the most proud of? Like, are there other plays that you made that come to mind where you're like, oh, man, I really dominated that particular moment?
I wouldn't say that's the play I'm most proud of. Obviously, it's an exciting play and kind of crazy how it all shook out. But that game specifically, the play I'm most proud of was, I think it was first half. Florida State was in the red zone, and I think it was a 4th down play. Jameis Winston, they were trying to run an option, and I stopped them. And initially they called it a touchdown, but I knew I had him down before the end zone goal line, and then they eventually looked at it, overturned it. So that's the play I'm most proud of because I think that kept our momentum. But that's the one that sticks in my head the most. I'm sure there's some other plays around there, but the scoop and score was awesome. Don't get me wrong, it was great, but I wouldn't say that's something that, I felt like I really did my job. Like, a part of it was just being in the right place, right time.
Do you have, that memory that's like an encyclopedia of every game you played in, or is it difficult to remember some of, the biggest moments, biggest games of your career?
Yeah, it's difficult at sometimes because I felt like we had a lot of big games when I was here.
Yeah.
So sometimes I can kind of, channel back to what it was feeling like in that moment when we were playing, but a lot of the time it's kind of just on to the next, if that makes sense. So it kind of depends on, I guess, the kind of the reaction I had per play or per game way back when. But like I said, I try to move on from it because I understand that my role now, I feel like it's best to support our athletes by focusing in where they're at right now, not trying to live too much in the past. So it's about kind of trying to have a happy medium on that one. So
I want to continue to talk about then. We'll get to now soon, but you were a part of 3 conference championship teams. You had some great student athletes alongside you. But your durability, 51 games in your career. You started all 28 as a junior and a senior. I know you had some injuries and some bang-ups, but you were a pretty durable player, weren't you?
I don't know if I can say that. Which camera am I looking at? Shout out Chief, Trav, Miss Steph, Miss Kim. Okay. All y'all got me right because day-to-day was tough. A lot of, football in general, you get banged up a lot. But, I was blessed enough to be out there and kind of power through some little knick-knack injuries that I had. Nothing too serious, thankfully. So for the most part, yes, I guess you can say I was durable because I was able to go out there and play. But
you were tough.
You were tough.
Yeah, I try to be. I felt like it was important for me to be out there. It meant a lot for my team to be out there, and I knew that I wanted to give my all. So I tried to step out there as best as I could.
Now you're part of that. I'm so glad that you brought up guys like Chief and everybody else, because there's so many people, and that's what I love about doing shows like this, right, is we get a chance to talk and with some of those amazing people that are really the support staff behind the coaches and the team. It's like the team behind the team.
Absolutely.
Just how special now, because clearly you valued that. How special is it now for you to be in a role where you're one of those people? You're impacting a lot of lives.
Words can't even express, like, just the amount of pride I have for this school, for, the Oregon football program in general. It meant a lot to me to be a part of it as a player, and it means even more to be now kind of full circle as a staff member. I was talking to Eden Mahina, our director of academic development, earlier today. I was like, I just really love this environment. It means a whole lot to me just to kind of view it from a different lens now and see truly see everything behind the scenes to get that product that we all see on Saturday. And for me to have an impact in that, it means the world, and I'm enjoying every bit of it. We've got a lot of great guys on this team that I'm getting to know, a lot of great families. Our coaches are amazing. I don't even think words do it justice of, how good of a staff that we have and how great the program, how great of a place the program is in. So I'm just grateful to be a part of it and, continue to learn as I go and be of as assistants as best as I could.
Well, we're going to find out really what that is. What's that title mean? Player development. It's the Pepsi Coaches Spotlight. Tony Washington Jr. We're going to find out more about that Junior 2 title, how we got that. All that's ahead as we continue on our Coaches Show. It's a Wednesday night of the bye week. Jorgie, and Joey on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
No matter how fast you are, you can't outrun your past. Don't miss Vin Diesel and John Cena in F9, The Fast Saga, now available at Redbox. The next chapter in the high-octane Fast and Furious franchise finds Dom Toretto living a quiet life off the grid, but knows danger always lurks just over the peaceful horizon. This time, that threat forces him to take his team on a worldwide ride with high-stakes action, old friends, and a surprising new foe, Dom's forsaken brother, Jacob. Watch F9, The Fast Saga, and make it a Redbox night. Visit redbox.com for all the ways to watch.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
More Jerry, Jorgie, and Joey after this timeout. You're listening to the Oregon Football Coaches Show on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
When you went car shopping, you meant business. You aced vehicle history searches and test drives. You out-salesmaned the salesman. Now you've got your wheels. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. With 401k tips and smart saving strategies, you'll have the info you need to get more for your future. Go to aceyourretirement.org, because when it comes to speeding past financial challenges, you're an ace. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Look out, world, we're getting strong. The future's here and we belong. She can do more. Like build a rocket and watch it soar. Or clean the oceans and make the world a better place. Oh, she can STEM, so can you. Find a cure, invent something new. There's no challenge in the world that she can't face. She can STEM.
Learn more at She Can STEM. A message brought to you by the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Coaches Show here at our Country Financial Studios. Jerry Jorgie and Tony Washington Jr. And I'm going to mention the junior part of it as your father, central part in you becoming who you are and the football player that you became. But you lost him a few years back, and it was hard on you. It was tough.
It was. It actually happened a week before my senior year in high school. So it was interesting time for me. That was around the time I was getting a lot of visits from coaches, a lot of scholarship offers. So it was like a whole new world for me to explore. And for all that happened at that time, it was really tough, just not on me, but my entire family. But one thing, it's been over 10 years now. I always try to make sure I have junior attached to my name. Yes. Just for me, it's like it shows respect to my dad.
No doubt
I'm not
about
the first Tony Washington. He's the one that kind of laid the foundation for me to be where I'm at today. So that's how I view it, and I'm very adamant about making sure like junior is attached to it, because that's another way for me to show my respect. So he had a huge impact on me, the way I conduct myself, the way I think, knowing how to power through tough situations. All came from his teachings and kind of how he viewed things. Somebody I looked up to, in everything that I did. I felt like he always had the answers, and so I was always going to him
they
for
always
it.
do. Sure they do. Yeah.
So, my day-to-day, I try to make both my parents proud. I lost my mom as well a few years ago. So everything that I do, I try to represent them, because I know they did a lot, sacrificed a lot, gave a lot to, make sure we had the best opportunities growing up. So anything that I can do to pay respect to both my parents is how I conduct my life. So
doing it proud. I mean, they would be so proud that you were director of player development, helping young men develop into young men.
Absolutely.
Isn't that what explain the job a little bit, Tony?
That's exactly it. So I know a lot of people see player development, and I get a lot of Twitter DMs from recruits thinking that I have anything to do with that, but I don't. My development is not really skill instruction, like you mentioned, trying to develop men on and off the field. As you guys can imagine, hopping into college from high school, and even without athletics in the picture, is a huge leap, huge learning curve. And my job is to make sure that they all have support in their own individual ways. What's really cool about my position is that I get to connect with all the position groups. Unlike, some position coaches are mainly on their position and they get to interact with other guys as they're around. But me, I feel like I'm the forefront for everybody. I'm the first point of contact for all the freshmen when they get in. I kind of assist them in their transition to their living arrangements. I get them set up with, simple stuff such as automatic payments of rent, or, trying to seek out financial aid, or trying to figure out, what's the best banking areas. When they're out of the freshman housing, where's the, most affordable places to live, and also like the less busy. It's a wide range of things that I do, and kind of what my responsibilities are. But at the end of the day, individually, I want to make sure the players' mental health, mental place is in a good spot, so they can go out in the field and not have to think as much, not have to worry about outside factors. They can just go play the game. I know something that Coach Cristobal really preaches is making sure that these guys have a support piece that's outside of just their coaches, outside of their families, outside of their professors and learning specialists, but somebody that's here to look out for them in any way that they may need. And, sometimes the calls are different, and, how I support other people are different, but I think what really helps is just my experience being here. I've literally sat in the same seats that they've been in.
Yeah.
I wasn't a, top-tier recruit. I wasn't a guy that got to play right away. I've had to work towards where I got to. So I can relate to a lot of different folks. Eventually I was, a 2-year starter and a team captain. So I feel like I fully saw like the whole spectrum of starting out kind of the bottom and working way to your top and becoming a leader, becoming a voice within the team. So I feel like I bring a lot of value, and I think the coaching staff knows that as well. Coach Cristobal, I love the position that, he's put me in and what he kind of allows me to do. I feel like I'm able to move freely, build relationships genuinely, and truly support these guys. So like I mentioned earlier, it's amazing to be back here in the role that I'm in. I'm loving every bit of it, so just got to keep it rolling.
Special job.
I mean,
Absolutely.
You're like the team mentor, like team dad almost, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I was thinking.
You're chuckling, but God, Tony, that's such a valuable thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, especially for a lot of young men, I imagine, that enter the program, that this is the first time that they've been away from home. I mean, there's a lot of new things that you have to acclimate to, right? What's the biggest piece of advice? I mean, what's the first thing that you always say to young men when they get here on campus?
My biggest thing is just have patience. Whatever that they're trying to achieve or kind of work towards is going to take some time. It's never an overnight thing, and that's something I struggle with as, a young student athlete here, just wondering what my time was going to be, when I was going to get to where I wanted to get to, and eventually I understood that it took some time. And there's a lot of work that goes into it. There's going to be a lot of assistance and guidance along the way. Make sure you really key in on that and listen to, those who are trying to help you. But the best part about being here, I think, is definitely a group effort. I think that our staff here kind of makes my job easy. It's not just a one-man show. I think everybody's trying to add to that support piece. Obviously, I think I'm able to take it a step further than some of the other staff members just based off everybody else's roles. But it's definitely a team effort. And I think once the guys understand kind of how coaches are there to build them up, not just on the field but off the field, it makes them easier to understand that, things aren't going to happen overnight, but I have the support, I have the help to get me where I need to get to.
You're close enough to have just played the game to be able to understand, which I don't think a lot of people understand, how hard it is for a young person to try to play the game, to compete with other young men, to be a starter or get on the field, do class, handle social media, and all the things that go with that. I mean, when you're at home doing that, it's one thing, you got parents and your support staff around you, but when you hit the big time, which is D1 football, you need somebody to help guide you and focus. Is your job to help these young people focus on the life ahead?
I think that's part of it. I think a lot of our guys just naturally kind of have the ability to be focused on what's in front of them. Obviously, guys are going to stray off that path depending upon, the week or the place they're in, that time of year. But I think you're kind of right in terms of like it's my role to kind of help them get back on track. But what I'm learning is that a lot of the time they don't necessarily need the assistance to get back on track, but just the support in wherever they're at.
Gotcha.
And that helps them propel back to where they need to get to. And it's different. Everybody's different. Some people need a little bit more push. Some people need a little bit more gentle delivery. And that's something that you kind of learn after building those relationships. But me, myself, I have very dry humor. I'm very sarcastic. So I think the guys are starting to understand that more and starting to accept that more. So it's been good. It's been good.
You mentioned it's a team effort. Working with a guy like Eden Mahina, who focuses on the academic side of things for this football team, and just what's the team like around you and the rest of the support staff, and Eden in particular? I mean, I know that you guys have a long-standing relationship.
Yeah. Funny. So me and Eden went to rival high schools. So we played each other in high school a bunch of times. He goes to a school I'll choose not to speak of because I'm not a fan. They beat us a bunch of times, especially late. But Eden's been great in kind of get me caught up to speed on how things work, especially on the academic field. I haven't had a lot of experience in that area, but I try to assist him as best as I can. But we've been a great team. He helps me out a lot. I try to assist him, as best as I can over at the Jekyll and on campus. So it's been good. But I think we both have similar goals. And I think the players, we have our own relations with the players, but I think they view us similarly.
Sure.
Like we're not a coach. We're not like their parents, but almost kind of like some uncles that are around. You know what I mean? We're in that space where we're not too far removed from, playing collegiately, but we're also been out of the game a little bit and seen a little bit. So the trust is there. Like for me, it's always big to me to just see who approaches me, who even just says hi, says what's up. That kind of lets me know like, okay, we're onto that level in our relationship to where they feel like they can come to me for anything. Even if it may sound simple, but as you guys know, football athletes sometimes can be kind of in their own lane, kind of in their own world, and very selective about who they let into that. So for me to be considered the new guy, I haven't been here a full year yet, just kind of keep working at it, keep chipping away to let them know that I'm here to support them. There's not anything that I want from them, but I want everything for them. Yeah. And that's kind of how I, go about my relationship building.
Start calling him Uncle Tony.
Honestly, I was thinking that.
That would fit, right?
That's good with me.
You get to Oregon, but you shot at the NFL, took a shot there. Ended up in Nebraska for what, a year, graduate assistant there? How'd you get back to Oregon? How did that all come together?
Crazy story, once again. So Matt Neuer, our DFO, obviously I've known him forever. He's been working ever since I've came to U of O. The last position, he moved on to a new school, so when it opened up, I felt like this was the perfect opportunity for me. So got in contact with Neuer, kind of let him know my vision of what it would look like to be here. Eventually was able to talk to Coach Cristobal and kind of share the same things, and thankfully it was in alignment with what he was thinking. But like I said, the driving factor for me was just when I was going to school here, the people I had in the player development positions was very influential in my growth just as a young man, even outside of athletics. And seeing the type of impact they had on me for somebody who did just lose their dad, their father figure and male figure in my life really made me feel like it was time to kind of give back and give that same support, offer that same support. So I want to be a person that, players can look to as somebody that can get guidance from, get support from, kind of that liaison between, the football world and the academic world, somebody that can just connect with and just have real conversations with. Like, I'm not one to judge. Like, I've been around the block. I've seen what life can be like. I know some of the, challenges you guys have to deal with on a daily basis. So I'm here to just connect with you and let you know that this whole organization wants to see you succeed. And sometimes that can kind of get mixed up with how coaches maybe approach things in film. Guys can at times lose sight of what the ultimate goal is, for this coach. I think they all just want you to see you be at your best, but sometimes it's not always received like that. So I think my job is just to kind of drive home the culture that Coach Cristobal wants to build. I think we have that. I think we're in a good place with that, but as you know, culture is something you got to work at constantly, and I'm just kind of continually trying to push that on.
I love it.
Take us inside that culture, if you could. I mean, we've had different student athletes and coaches talk about that. What's your perception? What's your view of that culture that you guys are building right now?
One thing that I love is that 1-0 mentality. It's funny, I talked to a couple of staff members about this. It's kind of like, life is kind of like driving in the car, You're focused on what's in front of you. You'll check your rearview mirror every now and then. You'll see what's to the sides of you. But if you look too far in the future, you're going to crash into what's in front of you. And obviously, if you look too far in the past, you're going to crash to what's coming on. So we talk about 1-0, and that's 1-0 in everything. That's not just winning the game, but taking the steps to prepare yourself to be able to win the game on Saturday or Friday or whenever we play. Same thing academically. Like, eventually you're going to get to the point where you have midterms or finals. What can I do today to get myself prepared for that? Am I in class on time? Am I paying attention, taking the right notes? Socially, like we talk about trying to get engaged in the community, it's bigger than just going out and doing like what some people may consider charity, but truly connecting to your fan base, seeing what Eugene has to offer. I think we have one of the most unique and passionate fan bases, and it's more than just winning games, but just the excitement of getting to connect with one another. And I think that goes a long way with their athletes, just seeing the support that's truly around them. As you guys can imagine, just where we're at with social media, the negative kind of gets pounded on you very quickly, and you can lose sight of your true supporters. And I think stuff like that kind of reminds you of what you have here. And that just all goes back to say that the 1-0 process is something that's truly embedded. Like, we don't just say 1-0 because our goal is to win on Saturday. Like, obviously that's going to happen if you prepare yourself, you put yourself in the best position to go out and play at your best, and the same thing academically and socially.
I'm going to get one more question for you, then we got to get out of here. But I'll ask you this: what does Tony Washington Jr. want to do with his life and your career? And I ask it because I know at one time I read that you aspired to be a pastor or a high school guidance counselor. Mm-hmm. Is that something you still have in your thoughts, or do you want to get into coaching? What's up next for you?
So I get asked that a lot, especially since the last 2 years I was kind of in a coaching role. But initially, at the time when I went to Nebraska, I wasn't even thinking about trying to become a coach. Like, that wasn't something that I was, pursuing. But I took the opportunity, number one, because I couldn't pass up on, getting college experience at a Division I school. But most importantly, I just knew the relationships I was going to be able to build with those guys, and kind of using my experience to try to help guide them in theirs. And I say all that to say, when I came back to this position, this is like exactly what I wanted to do.
Perfect.
So I'm enjoying every bit of where I'm at. I think eventually the next goal is just continue to get, more responsibility, however Coach Cristobal sees fit. Working with Katie Harbert, who's over all of student athlete development for all of our sports, and just developing programming or just different opportunities for our athletes, both men and women, to grow on and off the field. Continue to build that family environment that we have here at Oregon, and just continue to showcase to them, they're in a great spot with a lot of great people and a lot of great support, and just continue to walk with them throughout their journeys.
Well, you can give him whatever title you want to, but he was a Duck, he is a Duck, and he will always be a Duck.
Yes,
That's
sir.
Tony Washington Jr. You are the man.
Uncle Tony.
All right. Thank you.
Uncle
Yeah.
Tony.
Uncle
Hey,
Tony.
Before, I know we got to get a break. We got time, though, right, to relive the Rose Bowl. Would you like that? Do you want to
Sure.
hear how Jerry called
Oh,
it?
let's hear it.
Yeah.
Let's
See?
hear it.
Okay.
All right.
Let's hear it.
I think we can do that.
And the snap, and give it to Freeman going right. Cuts it up inside of the 2-1. Touchdown, Mr. Freeman. Going to throw again off play action. Throw downfield. It's caught and getting by for the first down. And a whole lot more as Darren Carrington strides into the end zone. Touchdown, Oregon. Back to throw, pump fake. Going deep. Got him, Carrington. 10. Stops inside the 5. Touchdown! Again, Winston steps up, lots of time. Now will decide to, now gets pressure, trying to get away from people. Can't, slips, loses the ball. Oregon picks it up as a chance to score. Downfield goes Tony Washington at the 10. Tony Washington pulls it out, keeps it, gonna try to get it, does, and will score. Mariota touchdown. Woo! And the Ducks make it 51-20.
I can see the smile through your mask. Right?
That's
I
amazing.
can see it through the mask.
Somebody give me a headset for next Friday so I can listen to Jerry.
All right. I forgot you almost ran over the referee on that whole play, too. That was really kind of cool. Tony, thanks again for being with us. We got to do it again, okay?
Absolutely. It was an honor. Thank you guys.
All right. It's our Pepsi Coaches Spotlight. Joey and I will be right back with more on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
We weren't going to lose.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't a matter of fact, how did we not lose? Hey, we're not losing, so let's
going to do it.
This episode of the Mighty Oregon Podcast, presented by Oregon Community Credit Union, is a special edition with guest host and longtime voice of the Ducks, Jerry Allen. Jerry sits down with Duck great Dave Wilcox, examining his early farm life in rural Oregon, his time with the Ducks, and how he became one of the most intimidating defensive forces in NFL history.
Ready to get back in the game? Great news. The movement experts at Proactive Physical Therapy Specialists can help you find relief and results and keep you off the sidelines. With 15 convenient locations across Portland, contact Proactive Physical Therapy Specialists today at proactivepts.com to see a physical therapist. Proactive Physical Therapy Specialists, a proud partner of Oregon Athletics and trusted choice for keeping Duck fans in the game.
Elevate the standard. This is Ducks football from Learfield.
Steven.
Who said that?
Me, down here.
Ugh, what are you, a yellow booger?
I'm a banana slug, Steven.
What are you doing in my room?
I'm your sense of adventure. It's been a long time since we've had an adventure in the forest.
Mom took me to the forest last year.
I'm a slug, Steven. It took me a long time to get here.
You're right. I should get out.
Yeah, the forest is not that far away.
Hey, Mom!
Come to the forest where the more adventurous you lives. Check out discovertheforest.org for cool places nearby. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
America, your children have an amazing superpower. That's right. They can help save lives by simply washing their hands. Just 20 seconds of thorough hand washing after they've coughed or sneezed or been outside can help fight against the dastardly spread of germs. Armed with only soap and water and hands, your superhero can protect you, your family, and everyone out there in America land. Amazing! Find out more at coronavirus.gov. A message from the CDC and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Country Financial Studios, Jerry, and I keep wanting to say Jorgie.
You did say Jorgie last segment.
Last time, I know. Tony Washington Jr., every time you have talked to a student athlete, or every time we have a student athlete on, they're always, I want to say perfect gentlemen, but they're just a credit to humanity and obviously to the University of Oregon. I just love talking to each one of them.
I do too. You know, and I remember talking to Tony on the coach's show when he was a player. I remember Terry did pregame interviews with him when he was a player, and Terry did a pregame interview with him earlier this year as the director of player development. It's awesome to see that come full circle. You know,
it is.
You know, and Jerry, you've been doing this 35 years now. You've seen Ducks move on in their careers, and then they come back either to work at Oregon or they come back to just be at Oregon after going on in their careers. And now that I've been doing this long enough to see guys like that, I mean, Tony and I were in the same graduating class. And so it's just amazing to think about. Like,
that's cool.
Like, this is just awesome to still see guys like that. This is a special place.
He's obviously made something of his life, though. So
clearly, and I'm here. So
I'm sorry.
Well, you saw on Twitter. Hey, he said he was very nice on Twitter. He said, "Hey, yeah, we're going on with 2 legends." I said, "No. I'm going on with 2 legends. I'm just the guy who's along for the ride with a headset and a microphone."
You're all part of it, my friend. You are all part of it. Well, look, how did we get here? We are in a bye week, which I do not like, and I think a lot of people don't like the bye week. I just feel like we've lost something. But how did we get here?
Yeah, how did we get here?
Yeah.
So every week we go through and produce the game recap. So we're going to walk you through the season. How did the Ducks get to where they are now? Well, it started with Fresno State, a team that we found out, and we have found out since then, pretty darn good football team, huh? Game 1.
Motion man goes left to right, turns, play action, gonna get hit, ball comes out, Ducks can pick it up and score! No, inside the 5, 1st and goal. He's gonna get sacks, he's gonna get strips, he's gonna disrupt you. It came on Thibodeau, just forced a fumble. To the right, and Verdell's gonna get it again, and he's gonna fight, get it in for the score. Wasn't easy. No, wasn't easy, but I think the leg pump and the desire to get it in. Here's Brown. Dye to his right. Give it to Dye. Up the middle, walks it in. He equals his touchdown total running from last year. Back at the 33. Back to throw again. Steps, dumps, deep. Going down in the end zone. Catch made. That's a touchdown, baby. That is a touchdown, Johnny Johnson III. What a beautifully thrown ball by Anthony Brown. Anthony Brown, option, keeps, 1st down run and more. Inside the 10 to the 5. Touchdown, Anthony Brown. That's what Brown can do for you. 2 receivers each way on 3rd and 3. Hayner to throw. Pressured, steps up, goes down. Sack, Brandon Dorless. Snap and give it to Verdell. Bust up the middle and gets the 1st down. 22-yard line. That's all he needed, and that will do it for Oregon.
Game 1. Fresno State. Anthony Brown, what can Brown do for you? Nice call, buddy.
Hey, thanks.
Nice call. Next up, though, of course, was the trip to Columbus.
And the snap, and give it to Verdell going left. There's nobody out there. He's going to score, and he does. Touchdown, Oregon. Verdell had Ryan Walk, and Ryan Walk had nobody to block. Verdell on 4th and a yard beside Anthony Brown. Snap, pitch it to Verdell going left. He may score again, and he will. Touchdown, Oregon. That's the same play they ran for the score from Verdell the first time. And Brown wants the snap, has got it. Give it to Verdell. Busted up the middle. Here we go. Has he got the speed? 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. Touchdown, C.J. Verdell. Yes, he's got the speed. And here's the give to Dye, who strolls like it's a Sunday afternoon into the end zone. E.J. Johnson in motion across the formation. Give it to Verdell. No, it's going to be a throw. Wide open. Touchdown, Oregon. In the end zone. Nobody near Maliki Matavao. And he scores his 1st touchdown for Oregon as a freshman. Snap, back to throw. With time. Pressure comes. Trying to run away from it. Now we'll just dump a short pass. It's intercepted. It is intercepted. Verone McKinley with a pick at the 37-yard line and then out of bounds. Snap the ball, back to throw. Stroud, pressure, goes down. And that's going to do it. They are not going to be able to get up and run a play. Game over. Oregon has defeated Ohio State 35-28. Goosebumps.
That was fun.
Oh, one of the all-time big wins for Oregon.
That's right, especially
All-time
in
big.
non-conference rankings.
Yeah.
That was pretty great. We got more to come, though.
All right, let's do it when we come back on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
No matter how fast you are, you can't outrun your past. Don't miss Vin Diesel and John Cena in F9, The Fast Saga, now available at Redbox. The next chapter in the high-octane Fast and Furious franchise finds Dom Toretto living a quiet life off the grid, but knows danger always lurks just over the peaceful horizon. This time, that threat forces him to take his team on a worldwide ride with high-stakes action, old friends, and a surprising new foe, Dom's forsaken brother, Jacob. Watch F9, The Fast Saga, and make it a Redbox night. Visit redbox.com for all the ways to watch.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
You're listening to the Oregon Football Coaches Show on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Watch out! You got me!
The galaxy is safe once again.
In the pretend universe, kids play with pretend guns. In the real world, it's up to us to make sure they don't get their hands on a real gun. If you have a gun in the house, keep it locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Country Financial Studios. Jerry, Jorgie's not here, and Joey. See how I did that?
That was well done. That was really well done. Yeah, Jorgie's on assignment. He'll be back for Duck Insider picks coming up on Friday.
Who did we play next?
Stony Brook was the next game, and so we get a chance to relive that one. Ducks got a nice victory at home against Stony Brook.
Yes.
Get three receivers right. Here's the back to pass. Over the middle and intercepted. Yeah, he got it. Verone McKinley, his 7th pick of the year. He obviously leads the team this year in interceptions. Twins each way for Brown in the snap. There's a little shovel pass pitch right to Verdell. Can he get to the end zone? Yep. Steps across. He had a nice block on the outside by T.J. Bass behind Brown, and it's going to be a keeper going right. Brown trying to get the edge inside, dives to the goal line. He got to the goal line. Anthony Brown with his 2nd touchdown run of the year. Back to throw. No pressure. Steps up away from a little bit. Now we'll throw it toward the end zone, and it is intercepted at the 1-yard line. Thompson snap. Keeps going to throw. End zone. Touchdown! Play action. Terrence Ferguson. And Ty Thompson has thrown his first touchdown pass as a Duck. Back to throw. Swing it down left. The receiver fell down. Intercepted to the 30, to the 20, and out of bounds around the 18-yard line. Bennett Williams. Now coming right is Johnny Johnson. Here's the give to Dye up the middle. He's going to get there for the score. Great effort. Ty Thompson pump fake, wants to go downfield. The ball does. Catch made, first down run, 20, 10, 5, touchdown Oregon, Dante Thornton. Benson at the tailback. Benson gonna get the ball, runs right there, touchdown Oregon. He went right over his right guard and right tackle, and the final seconds will tick off, and that is our final. Oregon 48 and Stony Brook 7.
That's a 3-0 record heading into conference play.
And beginning to realize Oregon's got a pretty good red zone defense.
They do.
And this year, we'll get back to one more before we go away and say goodnight on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Okay, forest animals, kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow, have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
catchy. I like it. River, how's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man.
I love it. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. Okay. Squirrel.
The Forest has been preparing just for you. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Okay, men, this is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now. You're gonna go out there and be an all-star caregiver. Cook, clean, be there emotionally and physically. You gotta dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments, because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Show the world that you're tougher than tough. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
To some, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much, but that's not true. They're testing out vowels and consonants and trying different sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on meaning, especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the show. I think we got time for one more game to slip in here, don't we?
Oh, yeah. We're going to recap all the wins for you. The Ducks moved to 4-0 to start conference play with the win over the Wildcats.
Let's bring out your Ducks. 5 receivers, empty set, back to throw. Brown, time, throw, wide open, catch, and hit across the 40, still at his feet. Jalen Red May is and does score. Jalen Red. Play action, throw coming, pressure. It's going to be a screen, and it's picked off. Bennett Williams, there's no doubt about who that was. Twins out to the left. And Verdell with the ball up the middle, inside of the 5-3-2-1. Touchdowns, C.J. Verdell. Brown trips right, snap it back to throw. Pressure comes, throw. Oh, what a throw, what a catch. What a catch. Terrence Ferguson. 3rd and 6. McLeod to throw again. Pump, now throws. Got the end zone, picked, intercepted. Ferone McKinley the 3rd. 2nd down and 8. Travis Dye to the right, back to throw. Brown got him, corner of the end zone, touchdown! Spencer Webb. McLeod from the shotgun, and a throw. Pump fake, wants to go deeper down the right side. Got a man down there, picked up, intercepted. That's Bennett Williams. Williams cuts it up across a couple of guys still on his feet. 50 with blockers, 40 the other way. He's got room, he's got the 20, he's got the 10. He scores! Bennett Williams! How about that? Oregon's defense with an opportunity to end it right there.
Ducks moved to 4-0 with that win over Arizona. Now, last week didn't go as well as they would have liked down on the farm, but the Ducks still sit at 4-1 here during the bye week. I'll tell you, hearing a lot of those names, Jerry, here's to speedy recovery for some of those guys like a Bennett Williams.
Oh, yeah. They've earned the opportunity to be back out there, and they will, and we'll get them out there. But in the meantime, next man up. I know it sounds trite, but it's true. It's real, and it's happening. So.
Yeah, the depth has been tested, and here's to everybody getting healthy. And again, Coach Cristobal will have updates tomorrow. He's going to meet with the media after practice. We'll have that on Duck Insider, wherever you tune in to Duck Insider, either one of our podcasts, one of our radio affiliates, or if you watch the show live in the 1 o'clock hour, goducks.com/Duck Insider for all the info, and we'll have Coach Cristobal right at the start of the show.
All right, now we got a game coming up, but not for another week and a half. Cal, it's a Friday night game.
Friday Night Lights. And speaking of lights, by the way, you can participate in the Coming Home and Shout light shows, but it's important, get the GoDucks mobile app, all right, and make sure that it's updated. Then step 2, click on the menu in the top left corner. click on Duck Lights down at the bottom. It's going to ask you to enable a couple things, and it's really important that you do enable it because the way that this technology works, Jerry, it's really cool. The microphone actually listens to the PA system at Autzen Stadium, and that's what syncs up the light show. So everyone's phone is going to be in sync across Autzen Stadium. And many of you probably remember the video of the light shows at Autzen Stadium in the past. Just visualize all the different lights at Autzen for these night games. That's what this is going to be. It's brought to you by OCCU. They're actually helping make this possible. I'm really looking forward to this. The light show is I think it's one of the coolest scenes ever. And we get to do it for Coming Home and Shout, but it's really important. Get that Go Ducks Game Day app, go to the menu, click on Duck Lights.
And I'll tell you what, the fans make a difference. They did at Stanford. Even though the Ducks didn't pull that one out, the fans made a huge difference. The light show will add to it. It's spectacular from the booth, and I know it'll be even more spectacular to the young men playing on the field. 5:30 pregame show, but a week and a half away.
That's right.
Not this week.
Coach's show next week.
Coach's show, yeah, we'll be back in a week.
This has been the Oregon Football Coaches Show on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Country Financial Insurance. Protect what matters. And by Pepsi and Bigfoot Beverages. Go Ducks. Drink Pepsi. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.